This instructional video targets first grade. The TEKS are organisms and environments. The student knows that organisms resemble their parents and have structures and processes that help them survive within their environments. The student is expected to identify and compare the parts of plants. The objective is, given an instructional video of a labeled plant diagram, students will be able to identify and compare different parts of a plant and their functions at 90% accuracy.
Hello everyone, my name is Brianna McCain. Today we're going to be talking about the different parts of a plant. To start off with, I want to talk about the part of the plant that we normally don't see. The roots are the part of the plant that are underground. They have a very important job to do. Plants need water to survive, just like you and I do. So, whenever water is poured onto the dirt around a plant, it seeps down to the very bottom, and that's when the roots soak up as much water as they need.
Look at what happens when I pour water into the dirt of this plant. Notice how the water doesn't puddle on top and spill over. That's because, like I said earlier, the water is sinking to the bottom, where the roots will soon soak it up and send it to the stem, which will then carry it up into the rest of the plant.
The next part of the plant that I want to talk to you about is the stem. The stem, just like the roots, plays a really important role. Once the roots have soaked up as much water as the plant needs, the stem carries it to the rest of the parts of the plant. Plants need more than just water to survive. They also need sunlight. Now, the leaves of a plant use that sunlight and make food that gets sent to the rest of the plant. That food is something that we all know, we love to eat it. It's sugar. The next part of the plant that I want to talk to you about is the flower. The flower is the part of the plant that we recognize the easiest. It looks pretty, it smells pretty, and when we see them, we want to pick them for ourselves, our family, or just for whoever. But the flower does more than just look pretty. It actually has a job. In the center of every flower is pollen. That same sweet smell that makes us pick them makes bugs come and land in them. When they land in the pollen, they get covered in it. Then they go flying off to a different flower. That helps create new seeds and fruits that then turn into their own plants. Here are some ways to help you remember what the different parts of the plants do. The roots soak up water that falls into the dirt. What else soaks up water? For me, I thought of a sponge. Roots soak up water for the plant the same way sponges soak up water.
Look at what happens when I dip this sponge into a glass filled with water. You can see the water getting soaked up into it. Look at how much water it soaked up. When thinking of roots, it will help you to remember that it does something a lot like this.
After the roots have soaked up all the water in the dirt like a sponge, the stem carries it up into the rest of the parts of the plants. To me, this reminds me of a straw.
Let's pretend that this glass of water is the roots to a plant that has soaked up water from the dirt. Now, let's pretend that the straw is the stem. You can see that the water starts to get lower as it gets carried up the straw. Stems act the same way.
Now, the leaf is the part of the plant where all the food gets made. So what part of our houses does all the food get made? In the kitchen. So leaves kind of remind me of a kitchen, and that helps me to remember what it does.
The kitchen is where all the food gets made. It will help you to remember what the leaf does if you think of it as the plant's own personal kitchen.
An easy way to help you remember what the flower does is to think of perfume. Both perfume and flowers smell sweet. That sweet smell is what attracts the bugs to come and land on them so that they can go and create fruits and seeds which make new plants.
This is video of the plant before it was given water and sunlight. As you can see, here it only has 3 flowers. One day after giving the plant water, which the roots soaked up, and sunlight, which the leaf turned into food, the plant grew another flower, and is about to grow 2 more. That's because each part of the plant has a different job, and they each help the plant grow bigger and stronger. Now, let's do a quick review of what we've just learned about the different parts of the plant. The roots are the part of the plant we can't see because they're buried in the dirt. Their job is to soak up water the same way a sponge does, as you saw in the video, and send it up to the stem. The stem is the part of the plant that acts like a straw, as you saw in the other video, carrying the water from the roots to the rest of the plant. The leaf is the part of the plant that uses sunlight to make food, which we can think of as the plant's personal kitchen. And the flower smells sweet like perfume, making bugs come and land on them, which leads to new fruits and seeds that will grow into whole new plants.